When looking into learning Judith Butler's theory of gender performativity, she begins by posing the question of what is meant by women, or to be a woman. This question brings up the idea that there are social factors involved with gender, and that it isn't something that each person is naturally born with. Butler describes gender to be a performance, how one acts through words and physical movements, very similar to performing in a play. Her theory mentions how a performance may not necessarily be the right term for describing what it means to be woman or man. Performances are finite. They have an end, while being women or men does not. It is an ongoing process and will even change over time. This is apparent because 100 years ago, women acted completely different than they do today. This is where Butler's term comes in. Performativity is the ongoing performance of individuals that will describe the meaning of man or woman. This ongoing performance varies from place to place, especially when comparing being in public to being alone. I will continue now to give a couple examples of gender performativity through words, spoken, and performances of the body. First, we'll discuss how speech can be gendered. Have you ever heard a girl cuss like a sailor and think, that's not very ladylike? Well, that is an example of performing a certain gender. A woman who cusses may not be looked at as a woman. Similarly, if a boy uses the word like too much, he may also be joked at for sounding like a girl. Frequently, phrases are used to describe people's actions or bodily performances as having a feminine or masculine trait. Most of the time, they are also used in a negative way. Some common phrases you may have heard are, "You run like a girl," "Quit crying, be a man." Another example of how gender is performed is how you sit. Some ways of sitting are seen as socially acceptable, while other ways are not. Typically, in a classroom setting, girls will have their legs together or crossed. Boys will be more spread out, having their feet and legs apart. This is not something that comes naturally, but is a habit formed over time. Plus, this public performance varies for many women when they are alone. They will sit comfortably in a similar fashion to how men sit. This hints towards the construction of gendered norms. Overall, these gendered performances have been around since before any of us were alive, and will more than likely continue to be. They are constantly changing, which is why Butler's term is gender performativity.